was just in Italy 2 weeks ago, and just in the middle of Umbria, so kind of a little bit north of Rome. And it's the same thing there, right? Like they have these terme, right? And then the water comes out of the well, and it's like full with sulfur, right? And I also did a ceremony there, did an Iboga ceremony, and we drank it before to cleanse, right? We had like a couple liters of that, and we did a
Huh.
Kambo ceremony, and then after, the Iboga and stuff. But it was very interesting because we drank a lot of that, and it would just literally, pull everything out, right? And then we went to a different terme and got the water from there, and that was a hydrating one. Taste wise, similar, right? Very strong, and like it was hard to swallow in the beginning, but
Yeah.
get used to it. But definitely two different waters, just like a couple hundred meters apart, the wells, right? And one was just cleansing, like literally cleansing the intestines, like full on, and the other one, was the one with the minerals it stayed in.
How interesting. Was an Iboga ceremony 3 days? Was it a full 3 day?
It wasn't 3 days. It was kind of like one full day because it was more like it was my first one, and it was a
Yeah.
soft introduction. Well,
Okay.
whatever
Yeah, I've
soft
heard
is to other people,
very
but
intense things about that. So,
yeah, yeah, it was definitely yeah. You just don't go into these things with expectation because it always
yeah.
comes differently. But it was definitely work, right? It's not like an LSD or anything like that. If people have experienced that, like it's, you cannot just lay there and do nothing, right? Like it's work, like you're working back and forth with the medicine, right? And it's kind of like a conversation.
That's how I always
Yeah.
felt about peyote. I've done ayahuasca like 15 times in very ceremonial settings, and what a
Yeah.
privilege to experience ceremony with all of the magical ancient things in place. People that go and experience it, and there's no sacred circle, there's no fire, they're indoors. It's just like, wow, you guys are missing the whole. Like, I don't know how you can move the energy without the fire, without a structure around it, without the Icaros, without
Same.
everybody
Yeah.
sitting at the proper doors and spinning the energy together. Like, how do you keep it safe? And I was
Yeah.
telling someone, if you're called to medicine, find someone who's native to the medicine. Find someone who's native to the original ceremony. And I was talking to them about Iboga, and I'm like, wow, one of these days I'd love to go and sit for. And then here you mention it, but
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
heard
It's
that.
just came to me. Yeah. Just
Wow,
came to me.
that's yeah. I think that you
Yeah.
bond yourself to the interstitium through that kind of magical working. Because when you see it, no one can take that experience away from you. The tree is never just the tree. You are connected to that tree through the mycelium network of the ground, and you can
Yeah.
feel that through your feet, and you can breathe into it through your body. And it is never just a tree again.
Yeah.
And
For
I've heard
sure.
with Iboga, death is never the same because you see that as we depart, we just lose the body. We lose the privilege of the body, but we're still alive in the interstitium, the space between things. It's a hypercharged electrical organizable space that is emitting frequency and light through it, and we're using it all the time with our phones and our laptops, yet we're not bridging the gap to realize that we are part of the same particle processor that everything else is operating in. We are just like those radio towers, except alive, animate, disconnected from the ground, but we have access to all those same frequencies. And I've heard Iboga anchors you to the etheric frequency kind of better than any of the other medicines. So good for you taking that dive, man. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. I went in there to work on my focus, right? So I got that ADD stamp in my childhood, also asthma, fourth generation, which is also like what I'm working on heavily, right? Because I know it's not there to stay, and I'm the one that's gonna get rid of it. And went in there with that intention, and usually that's not what people do with that, but like I felt like that was the right thing to do, and it was very interesting. It just brought up all these old memories, right, that were just laying on top of my nervous system that I had completely forgotten, right? Just one after the other. I was just dissolving them, like just one after the other.
Cleaning them out.
Yeah, so interesting. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know you're oversimplifying a lot there, but thank you for sharing that
Yeah.
little nugget.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I might do a video just about that, maybe on my YouTube at some point, but I'm still
I would be
microdosing it.
interested, just so you know, somebody
Yeah.
like me, yeah, I'd be interested in what the Iboga experiences was like.
Yeah,
And
I'm microdosing it now for the integration still.
Good for
which
you.
is also not really usual. And
Yeah.
yeah, so once that's done, then I will, get like calm down a bit and like, breathe and see if I can put it into words. But yeah.
Yeah, good luck with that. That's like to me the hardest part. It's the poetic's responsibility to like, okay, you
Yeah.
saw that, now use words, and it's like, all
Yeah,
right,
good luck with
well,
that. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and I don't even know if it's the right thing to do. I will see. I would just let, I would be guided. I would just surrender, and
yeah,
if I'm called to talk about it,